Hi, year ones. Thanks for joining. It's Wednesday, the 6th of January 2021, and this is your English lesson. And I'm really excited to tell you that this term we're going to work on writing a new story, and that story is going to be The Gruffalo by Julia Donaldson. And I know it's a story that we all love, that we've read many, many times. Might have been a while since we've read it, but I know it's a really, really good one, and I can't wait to see the versions that you create this term. So let's get started with a sentence activity. We know from class when we do our sentence activities that those lines on the screen tell us that there are words missing from our sentences. So we're going to read the sentence together. We're going to read the words below, and we're going to see if we can put those words or say the sentence so that it makes sense. So the mouse took a through the woods. The mouse took a something through the something woods. Let's look at our choices. We have deep, dark, and stroll. Okay, the mouse took a deep through the, no, that doesn't make sense. The mouse can't take a deep. The mouse took a stroll. The mouse took a stroll. What's a stroll? We've talked about that word before. Stroll is like a little walk. So the mouse took a stroll through the deep, dark woods. The mouse took a stroll through the deep, dark woods. Fantastic, sounds right. So today our learning objective is going to be to create a glossary. Do you remember what a glossary is? We've done them before. Have a think. A glossary is a word mat. So a glossary is a word mat of lots of important words from the story that we're going to use in our writing. And we always make a glossary at the beginning of every unit because it's really good to have with us when we're doing our writing, and it helps us with spellings. It helps to remind us of important words that we want to use in our writing. So let's have a look at what steps to success we need to follow today. We're going to start by making predictions or guesses about a story. We are going to listen to a new story. We're going to answer some questions about a story and see if our guesses were correct. And we're going to identify some new words. And finally, we're going to have a go at labeling words and adjectives from the story. So let's have a look at this picture from the story. I want you to pause the video after I ask these questions, and you're going to have a think. What do you think this story is about? Who are the characters? And where is the setting? Where does the story take place? So have a think about those questions and use the picture, use the clues in the picture to help you make a prediction. Where do you think the story takes place? Do you think it's going to be on the moon, at the seaside, or in the woods? If you guessed the woods, I think you are correct. Now, why did you choose the woods? Have a look at the picture and see if you can find some evidence to tell us that it's in the woods. Well, I see trees, I see rocks and grass and acorns and twigs, and I know that all those things can be found in the woods. So have a little go at pausing the video and answering those questions, and after we read the story, you can check and see if your predictions were correct. So The Gruffalo by Julia Donaldson. Now this is going to be a slightly shortened version of the story because for our model text, we don't use the whole story in year one. We change it a little bit so that it can be something we might produce or write in year one. So have a little listen, and remember you can stop and rewind the video anytime you need to help you with your learning. One fresh, sunny morning in the deep, dark woods, there was a little mouse who decided to go for an early morning stroll. She walked along happily until she met a red, sly fox. "Where are you going, little brown mouse? Come and have lunch in my underground house," said the fox. Luckily, the mouse was very clever, and she did not fall for his invitation. "That's very nice of you, fox, but no, I'm going to have lunch with a Gruffalo," replied the mouse. The fox looked puzzled, so the mouse kept on walking. After a short while, she came across an angry owl. "Where are you going, mouse? Would you like to have lunch in my treetop house?" asked the owl. "No," replied the mouse. "I'm having lunch with a scary, terrible Gruffalo." The owl looked frightened and quickly flew away. Next, she came across a sneaky, slithering snake. "Where are you going?" hissed the snake. "Won't you join me for lunch?" he asked. "No, sorry," said the mouse. "I can't because I'm having lunch with a strong and ferocious Gruffalo." Suddenly, the snake slid away to his log pile house. Unfortunately, the mouse soon came across a real live Gruffalo. He had terrible teeth and very sharp pointy claws. The mouse was scared, but luckily she had a plan. "I'm the scariest creature in these woods," she told the Gruffalo. "Just follow me and you will see." So they walked back through the woods together. When the fox saw the mouse with the Gruffalo, he ran away. When the owl saw the mouse with the Gruffalo, he ran away too. The snake did not even come out of his house, for he was too scared. "Wow," said the Gruffalo. "You really are the scariest creature in these woods. Would you like to come and have lunch with me?" "Yes," replied the mouse, and off they went to share a lovely, delicious lunch together. The end. Well done. If you were able to read along with me, or if you want to go back and pause the video and see if you can have a go at reading it yourself, or maybe you just want to listen to it again, but you can go back to that story anytime you want, as many times as you want. Now we're going to have a look at making our glossary. So let's have a look at the characters on the screen and see if you can name all of them. Have a go at pausing the video and seeing if you can name all the characters on the screen. So we have the Gruffalo, we have the owl, we have the snake, the sneaky snake, we have the mouse, who's our main character because she's the most important character in the story. We see a lot of her and she's the one who does lots of the action. And we have the fox. Now down here we have something kind of different. We know that that's not a character, but it's where the story takes place. So it's the setting, and we also label the setting on our word map. What's this right here? We've seen it before on other word mats and toolboxes. If you guessed speech bubble, you're absolutely right. So in the speech bubble, we're going to write some different words that show us that the characters have been speaking. And we can go back to the story and have a read through again to see if you can find those words. Words like replied or asked or said, but that's definitely a next step if you can make your list of words that tell us how the character was speaking. But let's go back to our pictures. So if you can pause the video now, you can choose. You can choose to make a list where you just label the characters in the story, or if you want to be a little more creative with it, which is something we like to do at school, you can draw pictures of those characters. It's a good idea to have the pictures of the characters because it helps to remind you if you're stuck or trying to think really quickly of the characters. So please feel free to pause the video now and you can have a go at drawing some of those characters. And I can't wait to see your pictures and your labeling when you send it in on the email. Lovely. Once you've drawn your characters, now it's time to label them. So remember in year one, we label using our sounds, and we need to stretch those words out using stretchy snake. We can stretch it out with our arms, or we can stretch it out on our fingers using our phoneme fingers to help us find the sounds. Remember in year one, a big next step for a lot of us have been using those year one sounds. So we're looking for lots of digraphs and trigraphs in our writing. So have a think. And if you're a Mrs. Asquith's phonics group, you need to remember to have a think about which digraph and trigraph you're going to use because you know many of them now. So let's have a go at stretching those words out together. And then I'd like you to have a go at writing them down with your picture. So we've got Gruffalo. Let's stretch that out. We know it's a long word, so we need to clap out the syllables. Gruffalo, 3 syllables. Gruff, G-R-A-F, gruff, A-L-O, Gruffalo. So stretch it out, take it slow, and write it down on your page. Next we have owl, 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 2 sounds. Snake, 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 snake. Mouse, mouse, mouse. And last but not least, we have fox, ox, fox, 3 sounds. Down here, what's this a picture of? Not a character, but a place. They are the woods. And if you said deep, dark woods, even better. Woods. W, like book, d, s, woods. So have a go at labeling. Remember, you can pause the video. I'm going quite fast, but you can pause it and take your time as you need to. All done labeling the characters? Fantastic. Now, do you remember the top step? We have to label and we have to add some describing words. What are describing words? They are adjectives. Fantastic. So what I would like to see on everyone's word map when you take your pictures and send them in is that you've labeled all of your characters, you've drawn me lovely characters as well, and that you tried to come up with 2 adjectives to describe each of the characters. Now we remember adjectives can describe what a character looks like, what a character sounds like, what a character's personality is like. So is that character a nice, friendly character, or are they a mean, sneaky character? So have a think. And if you're really stuck coming up with some adjectives, I'll give you a clue. If you go back in the video and listen to the story again, you will absolutely find those adjectives where you see those characters in the text. So you can come up with some adjectives that you might want to use. I'm going to try one of them with you just to get you started. So let's have a look. I think I'll choose snake. So I've labeled snake, and now I have to think, how can I describe him? Well, I know that he is long. He has a long body. And let me think about, I know about a snake. We learned about them last term when we learned about reptiles. They don't have skin and they don't have fur, but they have scales. If you remembered, well done. Scales. So I wouldn't say scale snake. I would say he's scaly. So he's a scaly, long, scaly snake. That's a good one. Now, I think I can come up with even more than 2, and I bet a lot of you can as well. So I'm going to think, what's that snake like? What's his personality like? He's not a friendly character. He's a bit sneaky, that snake. So I'm going to write E. And I know if I have an E at the end of a word, I'm going to use a Y to help me spell it. So I've labeled snake, and I've labeled 3 different adjectives to go along with snake. So I'd like you to have a go at trying the other words on your own now. You're going to label them, you're going to label some adjectives, and as a next step, if you finish that quite quickly and you're ready to really top challenge yourself, I'd like you to go back in the story and see if you can find some of the different words that tell us how the characters were saying different things. So it will say, "Come and have lunch in my log pile house, hissed the snake." So that word hissed tells us that he's talking. And if you can come up with a few different words for how the characters were speaking, you can put them inside of your own speech bubble. And I can't wait to see these. Please send them in to me, and I will be able to give you some feedback. And tomorrow, when I record the next video, I will choose some of the best answers, some of the best adjectives I'm given to create our class word map that we'll start the day off with tomorrow. So good work today, guys. Keep working hard at home. Take your time, pause the video if you need to, and use those sounds. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye.